on the campaign trail.
The recruiting trail?
Yeah. Or I said campaign trail. Wow.
No, you're
recruiting
good.
trail. Yeah.
We should start calling it that, shouldn't we?
I mean, you're basically campaigning in a way. You're campaigning for the program. Yeah.
I mean, Bobo is. Monken, I think, is a guy who like everyone respected his football mind.
Yeah.
You know, coming in and being like, I was a dude in the NFL. Lends itself. Like,
I can go back to the NFL when I want to go back to the NFL.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's credibility with all of that. But I think that Bobo loves to recruit.
Yeah.
Todd Monken did not love to recruit. Bobo knows how to recruit. Todd Monken, a little prickly as a person. Like just not a great living room guy. He's a great board guy. Like he's a great like let's talk about
Dan Mullen vibes a little bit.
Some of that probably. Yeah, that's probably a fair thing to say. Like he's just, I think I would say more like Spurrier vibes. Like I know so much about how to scheme up this offense, and I've got so many good recruiters around me that are gonna take. They're gonna bring in studs anyways. That like I really don't need to worry about this shit. Like,
yeah.
And I mean, to his credit, it's like he took the 2-star walk-on and won back-to-back national titles, so maybe he was right. But like in the Raiola recruitment, it definitely like moved Georgia way up in his process when Monken left and Bobo replaced him, because like there was this relationship there with Bobo that was not there with Monken. And the family loved Bobo, and it's not that they disliked Monken, but they didn't love him. You know what I mean? Like it. So I think that, yeah. I mean, it is interesting because I mean Georgia's recruited well. Obviously, under Kirby, they're always going to recruit well. But like, I think the level of offensive recruiting is probably going to go to a place that it hasn't ever really been under Kirby, because this is the first time you're going to have an OC who really is a recruiter. Jim Chaney was not a recruiter either. He didn't really like pull his weight, so to speak, with the recruiting trail. So I think Bobo is likable. He's got all these relationships in state and other places as well. It's going to be a.
I just wonder though, do they take a step back? Like, does Bobo, like, one of the things you talked about, and I think it was really well put, it's like, it's not even just like, even if you have the Georgia offense, which is like what everyone's saying, right? Like, the Georgia offense is going to be what it is. But someone's still, at the end of the day, in tight moments and important plays, like against Ohio State, against whoever, like, that's when it comes out. Like, you can say you have this scheme, you have this offense, but like, is he going to press the same buttons? Is he going to be that same guy? And I mean, I think it's just going to be so fascinating to me, because I don't know what to do with this quarterback room. I don't know what to do like with Bobo, because there is the Auburn year, there is the South Carolina year, there is the end of Colorado State, there is the decade in between. Like, I think it's all fair to be like, he at least has to prove it. Like, this is going to be firing on all cylinders, and he can jump right back into it and just be an elite offensive play caller in this league all over again. Like, he can obviously do it. He recruits well enough to do it. But it's going to be curious to see if he presses those right buttons. But it kind of goes back to bring it all full circle. Monken, I think you can make the case, was the best play caller in college football last year. I think you can make the case. Like, so I don't think there's anywhere to go but down. And I don't think that's the fault of Georgia or Kirby, is that, like, what are you going to do? You lost maybe the bet. Like, there was, outside of, like, I guess Dan Mullen, who I still think is an awesome offensive mind. And I think it's kind of a waste that he's not coaching in the sport right now.
It is. It really is.
So I don't know. Like, I'm curious. Like, there could be. I think it's not even like it could be. I think it's gonna be worse. I don't think that means it won't be like one of the 10 best potentially. I think it will. I think it's a huge failure with the amount of talent here, that if you're not a top 10 offense in scoring, then something went really wrong this year for Georgia. But like, does it matter more against LSU in the SEC title game? Does it matter more against Ohio State or Michigan in the CFP or USC, whoever? Like, that's when I think we'll see. I don't think we'll have an answer on Bobo for like 4 months after the regular season starts.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like, I agree with all that, and I think, I mean, I don't necessarily agree that like you're gonna have like this big backslide because.
And I'm not saying big backslide, but it's just enough. There has to be a backslide of some kind, right? Like it has to be a backslide.
Not necessarily. The problem with that theory is just like Monken was really good.
Yeah.
But like he was kind of, there was a little smoke and mirrors involved with what Georgia did last year. And like it all had to do with Darnell Washington and just the giant matchup problem that he was.
I'm not going to miss him.
And then having just like Brock Bowers exist, you know. Their offensive line might be a little better this year than it was last year. And then you still have Brock Bowers. Remember the name Lawson Lucky? Because that kid's
That's not a real name.
It is. Yeah.
That's not a real name. That's an admin character.
He's
Lawson
also
Lucky.
Yeah, and his